Hello, future viewers. I've dealt with the off-screen chores that I promised I would do before. And next is the thing that, well, we all know what happens, which is we are going outside. This has a little bit of a different meaning than it does in Shining Force 1, though. In Shining Force 1, no matter what, no matter where you are in the story, you can always go back to town, buy whatever items or weapons you hadn't bought yet. But that's not so much the case here. I know I compared this game to Fire Emblem a little bit already, but I think that kind of holds up here because we're never coming back to this shop again, at least after we complete the next battle. So it was important to pick up everything here that I might want. If you cast Egress in sort of an in-between battle, you still go back to a fort like this. But there's not always a shop, or you might only be able to get basic recovery items, so when you press the button in front of the exit, you better be ready. We're going on a ship again. Well, this is a little more talking than I'm used to for an outdoor battle, but okay. And this is our first encounter with a Centaur Knight. Let's compare it to its neighbors. 1477. Okay, it's substantially stronger, especially defense-wise. And it has Boost Level 2. That is an area of effect defense increasing spell that our party is not going to get for a very long time. As for... okay, there's a whole bunch of scavengers in the way. A couple goblins, and I think there's some bats as well. At least one or two. Yeah, there's one. Okay. As for the terrain, there's quite a bit of restrictive sand, but there's also a road, and there's some plains around here too. I feel so free. This is not what I've come to expect from a Shining Force outdoor battle, although, to be honest, they have learned their lesson from Shining Force 1. I don't think I'm ever going to see anything quite that bad again. And I can't think of any other tactics game that's quite as bad as Shining Force 1, with the possible exception of Ring of Red. The main difference being, in Ring of Red, the maps are small and kind of designed to accommodate the fact that you are only moving 2 or 3 tiles at a time. This Shining Force is not. You've seen the huge maps of the first game. So, I don't know, I feel a little bit spoiled by this most basic tenet of map design, and I'm wondering, is it actually a good thing I suffered so much in Shining Force 1? Like, I'm not sure that being traumatized is a good thing. Well, I know, oh dang, Kraid does not have good defense. I know, traumatized is a very strong word for being inconvenienced in a video game. It's just the first word that came to mind, and maybe it shouldn't have been, I don't know. Whoa. Well, Shade is growing in strength very fast. In fact, he can now instant kill a goblin if it's standing on a road, although that's not likely to happen again. Anyway. I should try to stay off the road when I can, because 0% land effect is not what I want. And we will have Cray finish off this goblin because he needs more stats right now. defense will never be his strong point, but maybe we can fix one or two of his other weaknesses. So the bats are heading straight for me. I better be ready to deal with them right now. I picked up some healing herbs, so I don't feel too bad about using recovery magic right away. And who knows what kind of bad luck I might encounter. So I think caution is called for. One down, 1.5 to go, I guess. 49 is not going to be quite enough even if I get that again. That's not really a big deal. Yeah, that's 30% terrain that he's on right now, so I'm not worried. So I want the next hit to be pretty strong if I can manage that. Oops. I think 16 will be fine. Yeah, perfect. Okay. In fact, if the goblin was on a road, it would have just died immediately, and that wouldn't be good for me. Right, so Apis should be fine on this sand here. And I just have to prevent him from accidentally killing that... Okay, there we go. Yeah, even though we don't have the protect rings anymore, it doesn't matter. Apis is quite tanky enough. However, our attack power has not quite caught up to... Well, especially Roos. The Great Axe is a pretty monstrous weapon that we're not going to get for a good long time. Alright, so pretty smooth so far. And yeah, I kind of like how this map design doesn't always let you pick and choose your battles, like when you can lure enemies, because they're kind of moving forward a little bit already. And of course the bats just swoop in while you're occupied, so that's pretty good. Makes you think a little bit. Now, I mentioned earlier that almost everyone you get right at the start of the game is just fine for the end game. And that actually covers just about everyone who joins your party in the first few chapters. I don't recall getting any throwaway characters for a good long time, and I appreciate that. So one thing I never quite figured out is whether flying enemies lose their dodge bonus when attacked by arrows in later games. I don't think they do. I mean, it's the sort of thing that would make sense to me because I think I've seen something similar in other games, but it might not be the case here. Game Engine might not support that. In particular, I'm thinking about Vandal Hearts, where flying enemies were weak against archers. In fact, that happens in a few strategy and tactics games. Now, stat-up items are a little bit easier to work with now than they were in Shining Force 1, but Quick Chicken is still useless. Yeah, this is pretty good positioning for him. Roos can block the bridge, no problem. And we have enough ranged attackers to deal with this. Okay, I said no problem, but I guess there was a little bit of a problem. He is on a road, after all. I might have to back him off. We'll see. And as always, don't forget to level the hero. He's actually usable this time, so there's no excuse. That is going to take up a ranged attack slot, but I think that's okay. By the way, a lot more enemies will... Oh, okay, that's good. A lot more enemies will drop items in this game than in Shining Force 1, so it's doubly important to make sure that you always have item slots open. And Shade is doing a lot of work. Well, that's what you get when archers are good. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get at least one more kill for him. Yep, 2 stat-up items in one encounter. Doesn't always happen, but... I guess it did right there, huh? Actually, Roos also needs this. But since he does a lot of damage, it shouldn't be too tough to get him experience. I think you're good for now. No, I wanted to have him cast a spell. Awkward. Very awkward. I'm gonna take another hit because of that. Well, maybe I can at least... Oh wow, going for Roos again. But he's on better ground this time. Alright, well, that settles that. And now that the more mobile enemies are done, I can get my formation a little bit better. I kind of like maps that make you choose between defense and mobility like this. Like, just due to the placement of the bridge, I wasn't able to put my tank in the best defensive spot. And I know, putting a road next to a bridge, genius move, but maybe it's just me being nostalgic over Ring of Red, but having a map layout with a road surrounded by things like forests and hills and other stuff, so you can duck into them for a defense advantage. I like that map design a lot. It gives a certain... It restricts you somewhat, and it makes you choose between, as I said, being able to move a lot and being able to not take so much damage. And if you make a bad decision, you can get caught on the road and put in a bad position. Especially if you don't place yourself right and the monsters move on to land effect terrain. I guess the best way for me to describe it is as a good beginner's map design. And I don't mean the kind of design that a beginning map designer would use. I mean for beginning players. Oh wow, it didn't move. I'm kind of disappointed. There we go. Oh, well that's okay. I have plenty of backup. That's why forcing the enemy to make the first move is just so powerful. And why I have so much respect for game designers that somehow force the player to move offensively themselves. Ring of Red did that by giving large rewards for finishing maps quickly. Fire Emblem did it mostly through treasure chests and villages that will be destroyed or stolen if you take too long. Shining Force doesn't really do that so much. Okay, good. I think that's what really holds it back from being an excellent tactical game. Jeez, is that dwarf flag to never move? I didn't think I'd see that in this game. I'm disappointed. I don't... Well, I guess it's good that we're in a game where that stands out instead of being the norm, but still, I was hoping to not see that. I kind of wanted to see a pointed defense. But that's okay, we still have plenty of levels to go. Well, okay, good growth overall. Man, that's refreshing. Of course, we did gain some levels during the last video, but not quite enough to justify the huge difference with fighting the enemies last time and this time. That's... yeah, most of that is just from buying decent weapons instead of what we were able to scrounge from the beach. Now I need to be careful about attacking the knight because that might be a keystone enemy, and we've already suffered experience losses from those. Well, not in this playthrough, but in Shining Force 2, happened a lot. Not quite yet. I'd like him to get one kill, though. Well, that was a lucky turn rollover. Ooh, I don't get an accidental kill, though. That would be embarrassing. Yeah, you're not gonna kill Apis like that. I mean, we saw the knight's attack power is pretty impressive for this point of the game. But Apis is just that good, he doesn't care. Yeah, that seems fine to me. We're starting to get a little less experience from the dwarf, so I'm gonna guess you can level up to 5 on those guys, but not too much higher. Yeah, Cray needs it a lot more. I don't know if he can get a kill. He did gain a fair amount of attack, so we'll see. And this guy is on a road. But it doesn't matter. Ah, that was very awkward. But that's okay, he chose the wrong target. So we can take as long as we need. I'd be interested in finding out how exactly the computer prioritizes targets. It's definitely a little more flexible than in Shining Force 1, but I guess it can still get stuck to your tanks sometimes. Maybe it puts more priority on characters who have already been damaged. Oh, not quite. I don't consider this abuse at all. Well... maybe the enemy might consider it abuse if it wasn't just, AI. But hey, I'm gonna take these opportunities where I can get them. Okay, well, that's a nice new option for Apis. Whoa, okay. Cray's learning fast. I guess he's done with being a weak attacker. Yeah, he gained 5 points of attack just from this map. Very good. And you see, no shop here. So, next we're going to attack a fortress. Already. That should be pretty fun, and I'm not even joking. I have pretty decent memories of this next map. So that's that. Aside from a little bit of cheesy grinding, sort of, at the end, that was a pretty smooth outdoor map. That is just such a refreshing difference. I mean, if you've watched my Shining Force 1 playthrough, or at least some of it, you have an idea of why I feel that way. Anyway, see you next time.